There are two swordsmen in history who rose to the rank of Hashira after a mere 2 months of training. One is Kiyome, the Rock Hashira, and two is the Mist Hashira, Muchiro Tokito. And today we will be discussing his past, his battles, and all his different interactions and personality. Without further ado, let's get into it. If you're not caught up with the manga and you do not want to be spoiled, click off the video right now. Muichiro is an airheaded individual who always constantly seems to wander off in thoughts and can never focus on one thing. Impassive at times, dull, he tends to think only for himself and operates on logic alone without emotion. He never lets his emotions guide him. Despite this, he has been shown to get very serious when it is required and is devoted to his position as Hashira. Alternatively, he seems to display a cold and arrogant side, as seen when he finally shook down Kotetsu and calls him stupid, saying his time as a Hashira was super important and that all the swordsmen could do was make weapons, basically calling them useless. However, before the death of his twin brother when the siblings were 11, Muichiro's personality was that of a much more caring individual. Having originally taken after his father, he was shown to display a higher level of kindness and understanding than his personality we see today in the story. Believing he should aim to do good for others if he wanted good to be done for him, that's why he was a demon slayer, and that's how he operates. He is a simpleton, he is simple-minded, but when it comes to battle, he is a prodigy, and his status as Hashira cannot be undermined at all. After his brother was killed at the hands of a demon, Muchiro subsequently lost all his memories and held an omnipresent rage deeply suppressed inside of him that inevitably drove his future to train intensely. After this memory loss, he started exhibiting the indifferent attitude he wears and we see today as Hashira. But after his memories returned, Muchiro began expressing more emotions and became more confident in himself, and which that aids him building friendships and relationships with the other demon slayers. After he got his memory back, displayed a smugness and sarcasm towards upper rank 5 Kyoko. Muichiro first appears in the swordsmith's village when he is seen arguing with Kotetsu. He tries to convince Kotetsu to provide him with the key to the Yurichi training puppet, slapping him when he refuses to oblige. Tenjiro then intervenes in the scene and grabs his arm and attempts to crush it like he did to Kenya after the final selection. However, to his surprise, he couldn't do that to Muichiro, even though Muichiro had a smaller frame and thinner arms. Muichiro then quickly punches Tenjiro in the stomach and criticizes him and calls him weak. He sees the box on the back of Tenjiro and starts to reach for it, sensing a demon was inside it, but Tenjiro slaps his hand off and tells him not to touch it while rescuing Kotetsu from his hand. Kotetsu continues to refuse handing over the key to the Yurichi puppet even under torture, and Muichiro scolds him for his talk, stating how he is wasting a Hashira's time and that swordsmiths are only good for making weapons. Tenjiro quickly interrupts, angry at Muichiro's inconsiderate attitude, but he gets knocked out by Muichiro. After Tenjiro regains consciousness, he goes with Kotetsu to watch Muichiro fight against the mechanical doll, witnessing him breaking it. Muichiro remarks about the useful training and takes one of the swords that were stuck in the puppet, asking Tenjiro to dispose of his broken sword. Tenjiro doesn't sense any malice coming from him, and we see it because Muichiro doesn't even remember the conversation that they had and why he knocked Tenjiro out, because this makes sense because he lost his memory. But Tenjiro is still upset about his attitude. Later that week, Muichiro pinches Tenjiro to wake him up, asking him about the whereabouts of Gozo Ganamori, his new swordsmith. When Tenjiro offers to go with him and help him find the swordsmith, Muichiro questions him why he wants to go with him, in which Tenjiro replies that helping others could only end up positively affecting himself, leading to Muichiro suddenly feel a sense of familiarity, and he questions Tenjiro about what he just said. However, before the two's conversation carry on, Nezuko wakes up and breaks the flow of their conversation. Muichiro wonders where he saw her before, but before he starts thinking about it, their conversation is suddenly again interrupted by the entrance of upper rank 4 Hantenku. Muichiro immediately attacks Hantenku using mist breathing, 4th form shifting flow slash. Hantenku dodges and he comments on his speed, attacking him again after Tenjiro and cutting off his head. Tenjiro, remembering the situation with Daki and Kyotaro, yells at Muichiro to keep focusing as Hantenku is placed into two bodies. The two bodies are called Sekidu and Karaku. Karaku attacks Muichiro and blasts him out of the building and into the forest. Muichiro then quickly starts rushing back to return to the village, and during his way, he sees Kotetsu being attacked by a demon. He then thinks about and contemplates saving him, but suddenly remembers Tenjiro's words and quickly beheads the demon, telling Kotetsu to escape. When Kotetsu starts thanking him and apologizes for his earlier hatred towards him, Muichiro's memories urge on as he remembers recovering under the care of the Obiyoshiki family. family and remembers all the kindness that they had shown him when he was young. Kotetsu then helps Muichiro find where Gozo is, where they see Gozo running. Then after they find Gozo starts heading for the shed to retrieve the new blade Muichiro had asked him to build to craft. Muichiro pulls him back as he senses the presence of upper rank 5, Kyoko. Muichiro attacks him, but Kyoko moves to a different path and avoids his slashes. Kyoko then summons more fish demons that send in a lot of needles towards Gozo and Kotetsu, but Muichiro shields them and tells them to move out of the way. Kyoko reveals the needles are poisonous and tells Muichiro that it doesn't matter what he does, and this results in another sudden memory reoccurring to Muichiro. Then Muichiro tries to attack Kyoko but gets trapped in his blood demon art water prison pot. Muichiro attempts to break out using mist breathing first form low class distant haze, but is unsuccessful. As he thinks about his approaching demise, he suddenly hears his father speaking from Tenjiro's body. Kotetsu quickly arrives to provide him with a breath of air and is able to and Muichiro is able to break out using mist breathing second form 8-layered mist, and quickly remembers that it was his father who had said the same thing that Tenjiro said earlier about helping others. After escaping from the water prison, Muichiro's memories of his past all come back to him. The anger over the death of his brothers manifests into his Demon Slayer mark, which gives his speed and abilities a tremendous boost. He then goes into the shed and attacks Kyoko, who comments on his relaxed face. Kyoko retaliates with his blood demon art, Octopus Fast Hail, and Muichiro's blade breaks trying to cut it, prompting Gozo to quickly hand him his new sword. Muichiro, now with his new sword, slices through the demon's attack and thanks Gozo in return, in which Gozo replies that he was only following the instruction he was given. Muichiro then remembers his old swordsmith's worry for him and internally apologizes, remarking that he is okay now, and uses mist breathing 5th form Sea of Cloud Haze, landing a blow on Kyoko's neck. Muichiro and Kyoko start insulting each other, with Kyoko becoming more furious after Muichiro insults his bots. He then uses another blood demon art, 1000 needle fish kill, but Muichiro easily encounters it with mist breathing 6th form lunar dispersing mist and mist breathing 3rd form scattering mist splash, slicing the head of the demon's mold as he escapes to a tree. When Kyoko tries to show off his new form, Muichiro's indifferent attitude towards it enrages Kyoko again, and he then goes after Muichiro, attacking him, in which Muichiro dodges and smiles, commenting on the uselessness of his offense. Another scuffle between the two ensues, with Kyoko using his blood demon art Killerfish and Scales, which Muichiro responds with the form he personally developed, his most powerful form, 7th form Obscuring Clouds. When Kyoko tries to find him in a sea of mist, Muichiro effortlessly decapitates him. In the aftermath of the battle, Muichiro starts foaming at the mouth due to poison and falls unconscious after verifying that Kotetsu is still alive. He then sees his family congratulating him on a job well done in his consciousness. Later, when Tanjiro is running after Hentenku, Muichiro throws the unfinished Nichiren blade that is retrieved from the Yurichi puppet, granting Tanjiro the ability to defeat Hentenku. After the battle ends, Tanjiro and Muichiro thank each other. Tanjiro thanks Muichiro for the sword, and Muichiro thanks Tanjiro because if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have gotten his memories back. Misuri then pulls everyone into a group hug. During the Infinity Castle arc, Muichiro is separated from Kyome by now upper rank 4 Nakime's blood demon art, in which she manipulates a large column of the Infinity Castle and warps in an opening to where Muichiro is teleported to where another upper rank is residing. As Muichiro is getting back up, he sees a petrifying 6-eyed figure in front of him with a purple and black hexagonal patterned kimono and a long sword. The figure gazes at Muichiro and discerns that the Hashira is of familiarity to him. Muichiro then notices the kanji for upper rank as well as the kanji for 1, realizing that he is looking at the infamous upper rank 1 in front of him, Kokoshipo. Kokoshipo sees the muscle, ribs, and blood flow of Muichiro identical to how Tenjiro saw that of Agasa and Giyu, and determines that Muichiro is of similar blood to him. Muichiro, on the other hand, perceives that Upper Moon 1 is far more terrifying, dignified, and majestic compared to any other 12 Kizuki member, as well as having a sword similar to the Nichiren players, believing that Upper Rank 1 was indeed once a demon slayer. As he grabs the hilt of his sheathed sword, Muichiro's body begins to tremble due to the Upper Rank's horrifying aura, despite this never happening once in his life before. Then the Upper Rank asks Muichiro of his name, in which he stutters it out loud. Kokoshipo finds out that the Tsukiguni name has died out and is no more. This perplexes Muichiro as he has never heard the name Tsukiguni once and asks the Upper Moon what Tsukiguni is. Because of hundreds of years passing, Kokoshipo knew that it was inevitable of his family name to die out, in which he says out loud to be Michikazu Tsukiguni. He also states that he is a descendant of one of his children, thus making him his literal offspring. This greatly horrifies Muichiro that he is related related in plot to an upper rank. Thus, he starts questioning if Kokushibo is a user of the sun breathing, the original breathing style. This makes great sense, and the reason why Muichiro is powerful and a prodigy is because he is related to a powerful swordsman like Kokushibo and Yurichi. However, Muichiro attempts to calm himself down with his breathing, which makes Kokushibo praise his mentality. Muichiro quickly dashes towards the upper rank, thus the battle begins. And this is where I am going to end this video, as I am planning to make a video regarding the whole Infinity Castle arc and the ending of Demon Slayer. So definitely keep an eye out on that. If you've enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to not miss any more Demon Slayer content that I am doing in the future. I am really enjoying right now covering all the Demon Slayer characters, and I will most likely keep doing it. But definitely let me know in the comments which are the characters you guys want to see. And with that being said, until next time.